Today I'm going to tell you exactly why your manager sucks and they always will, and how to survive in a world of middle management and excess complexity. So first of all, I want to start on a basis of the economy is mostly fake, okay? Luke Smith made this video, the economy is fake, most jobs are fake, money is fake. I would highly recommend you watch this video, and yes, I did steal his thumbnail, I loved it too much. But basically, most people feel their jobs are fake, most jobs actually are fake, and a book called BS Jobs basically brought up all of these statistics that actually in the real world, most people's jobs are fake, okay? So the book brings the point up that 70% of jobs in the modern economy are vacuous and unnecessary. These are all verifiable facts, okay, from the book BS Jobs. A YouGov poll showed that 37% of people felt their jobs had no meaningful contribution, while 13% were unsure. Now, if you're unsure whether your job is meaningfully contributive to the economy, it means that it's probably not. So we can relatively confidently say 50% of people out there don't think their job actually contributes anything to the world. Okay, even jobs that are considered productive, only about 39% of the work is spent on actual work tasks. If you've ever worked in an office and you walk around the office and you take a look, you realize that most people aren't working. They'll come in for an 8-hour workday and they'll be done around midday or 2 p.m. or something like that. And they're just kind of be trying to look busy for the rest of the day. And the thing is, this isn't a hit on any particular manager or worker. That's just kind of across the entire economy. The whole world operates like this. Basically, every white-collar job operates like this, where it's just kind of a farce. We're all kind of pretending. So there's this concept called the Peter Principle. You may have heard of this, where basically the reason management sucks, and the theory is that people are rise and are promoted to their level of incompetence. So let's say you're a competent worker, right? You go into the wage cage and you get the work done and you're really good at your work, right? Then you get promoted to management of the group that you're working for. Great. So, maybe you're just about getting by. You were a good worker, but you're not that good of a manager. Well, you're doing good enough to where you end up getting promoted again. So you end up as a manager of a manager, and that's when you end up as kind of incompetent. And the thing is, this is what happens with all managers. Everybody who's a good employee ends up getting promoted to management, and then if you're a good manager, good enough, right, you end up getting promoted to a manager of managers. And that's why we have this forever levels of management, management, because people just keep getting promoted to the point where they can't get promoted anymore. So the next concept is bureaucratic creep. This is another massive part of the economy nowadays, where as organizations grow, they create more layers of management, and management is usually self-justifying. So an example I've given here is ESG, right? Environmental social governance pushes, and it's usually hand in hand with things like DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the thing about these functions, things like DEI functions, is that really they're not actually necessary. You can just be a decent person who, doesn't mistreat people who you work with, and you don't actually need a DEI function in your business. But the thing about having a DEI function in your business is that it's self-justifying, right? In order to prove that we're not racist, here we have this business function called the anti-racism department. And if we were to ever get rid of the anti-racism department, we would de facto be racist, right? But the thing is, of course, that's fake, right? That's not real. You can just, once again, be a decent person and not mistreat your coworkers. And you don't need a lot of these levels of management. They're entirely self-justifying. Now, another example of this is being an ESG company. So as you can see on the left, I searched up ESG investing. And basically, in order to be considered an ESG company and be added into the funds of a collection of ESG companies, you need to go through a series of box checking exercises. Do you have an ESG department? Have you made an anti-racism statement? You have to go down this long list of things that really they should kind of be implied in your business. What happens if someone mistreats another employee? Well, they get sanctioned or they get fired or whatever. But the thing is, you have to go through these box checking exercises now to be added into these Vanguard ESG funds, these BlackRock ESG funds. So what ends up happening is the self-justification ends up growing and growing and growing, and you end up having entire business functions that are just completely, they don't contribute to the bottom line at all. They have massive levels of complexity and management that just really don't need to exist. And yeah, there we are. We have most of the modern economy. That's how you can explain most of the modern economy. ESG is just one example of this. So most of the modern economy is self-justifying. An example of this that I really like are things like cloud providers. So Amazon has Amazon Web Services. And what they do is you can go to Amazon and you can host some of their you can go and pay them to host some of your servers. And what they'll do is they'll charge you a bunch of money for running your software on their servers, right? Now, the thing is, there's usually a few different choices of what programming language you can go and run on these cloud services. Interestingly enough, a lot of these cloud services recommend the less efficient programming languages, things like JavaScript and Python that run considerably slower than the other choices. Now, the thing is, you would think, well, why are these cloud providers suggesting we use slower languages that need more servers? Well, they make money from servers. So they are a merchant of complexity. This guy, DHH, he's done a couple of YouTube videos where he talks about merchants of complexity, people who benefit from the world being more complicated. Much of our economy is built up off of merchants of complexity, where their entire job function is to make things more complicated, to make technologies more abstract, to make management more complicated and have more levels. And what you end up having is you end up having to hire a company to simplify your management, or you now have to hire people to manage the complexity that these companies have arbitrarily built in your organization. Here's a Terry Davis quote: "An idiot admires complexity, a genius admires simplicity." The thing about this is, it's not really a matter of being an idiot or a genius. It's more of a matter of, well, we run an ESG consultancy firm. We benefit from there being more ESG business departments out there. So we're going to go and encourage more ESG business functions, right? You see all this stuff ends up becoming self-justifying. It's just a circle where everything just feeds into each other and makes themselves, just justifies each other, right? There's this quote that I really like: "Never ever," and I'm just going to misquote it here, but "never rely on a man understanding something that his paycheck relies on him not understanding," right? If you're making money from something as it is, don't expect to understand, let's go and get rid of the complexity here. If your entire job is built up off of managing complexity, you're just not going to see it any other way. How to escape? How do we escape from this hellish fake economy with a billion layers of management and complexity and abstraction and everybody trying to sell you the next complicated thing. Well, I would say it's soft skills, all right? These are things that people have usually sold themselves to CEOs. Management sells themselves to CEOs when they use words like, problem solving, communication, time management, and things like that. That's the whole value of a manager, right? Soft skills. So if you're just, a regular worker, you should have these soft skills. You should be capable of problem solving, communication, time management, adaptability, and so on. These should be a fundamental part of your personality. Something I see a lot is a lot of particularly technically minded engineer types try and be the Dr. House archetype, where, I don't care about what people think of me. I'm just going to be such an exemplary worker where I'm just so incredible at my job that I can mistreat everybody and I don't need to have any kind of soft skills. And I'll just, I'll always end up being the most valuable person on the team. That's not real. These people don't actually exist, all right? You're always going to get... Dr. House is a fiction, right? This person doesn't exist in the real world. Your soft skills are always going to get you further in life. If you're an engineer, if you're one of these people that work in these kind of autism jobs of, being highly technically minded, you're always going to benefit from having soft skills. That's how you can actually be a productive member of society and not be the wage cage slave for the rest of your life in this complex, abstract, fake world that we've built for ourselves. So have a great day. Thank you very much for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.